secondary Rolex prices are falling even lower. So I made a video 3 months ago about a few Rolexes that can now be bought under retail. And there were some bangers on that list, like the Yacht Master, the two-tone Explorer, the plain Jane Oyster Perpetuals. But now there's even more models to add to it. Before we get into it, just a quick disclaimer. The intersection of watches and money always kinda makes me uncomfortable, but it is also inevitable. To me, one of the least interesting things about a timepiece is its price tag. Watches are these amazing items, these analog devices that keep exceptionally accurate time, whilst also being beautiful. But that's romantic Brittany. Practical Brittany also knows that money matters. We need money to buy the watches that we love. So in making this list, my goal is really just to help people buy the watches they love at the best price possible. Which I think is extra important as we leave the all-time highs of the pandemic and the crazy bubble certain watches were in, and the prices are now coming back down to earth. So with all that boring disclaimer stuff out of the way, here's 5 more Rolex watches to keep your eye on, because they're either under retail now or dang close to it. One watch I never thought I'd say that you can buy below retail is the Daytona. But you can. So to buy a 2023 two-tone Daytona at retail is £16,400, and the lowest I found, a 2023 two-tone Daytona on Chrono24, is £16,500, with the price listed as negotiable. So technically not listed below retail, but I bet you could talk that seller down to retail or below. I said in my first video about this topic that precious metal seems to be the canary in the coal mine. And I definitely think that is true here. Okay, the Sea Dweller and the Deepsea. Although these two are listed as different models on the website nowadays, the Deepsea isn't technically classified under the Sea Dweller anymore, but I'll always lump these two together in my head, and both can be found for some pretty juicy prices on the secondary market. So for a brand new Deepsea at retail, it is £1,950, and the cheapest I found on Chrono24 is £10,283 for a 2023 model in the US, with the average Deepsea selling price not being much higher than £10,500. That's massive. That's £1,600 in savings from going through secondary. Then looking at the Sea Dweller 43mm retailing for £11,150 brand new, and the cheapest I could find secondary is £11,116 in Japan. So the Sea Dweller isn't quite as juicy, but if you're looking for a big beefy dive watch, and you don't have great AD links, or maybe you live really far from an authorized dealer, this could be the way forward. One thing I've been noticing while researching for this video and looking into secondary prices is some of the best prices can be found in the US and Japan, and even better deals if I'm not based in the UK. And that's where today's fabulous sponsor comes in, Surfshark. So I've been a Surfshark customer for a few years now, using them to find the best deals online, keeping my online banking info safe, and most regularly to watch Canadian Netflix because I live in the UK, and I use it to watch the MLB, the baseball, and watch my precious Blue Jays lose. Oh, cuts me deep. Surfshark is a VPN, or a virtual private network, which lets you virtually change your location to anywhere in the world. I've been using it a lot on my trips to Germany, and I'm actually on one right now, en route to a Leica event, to keep up with the UK and Canadian Netflix while I'm traveling, and keep my banking info and my personal data safe while using the public Wi-Fi at the airport. I'm one of those people who's ripe for a data breach. I'm always on public Wi-Fi, I almost never read terms and conditions, and I'm generally pretty bad at computers. So Surfshark is pretty valuable to me. If this all sounds useful to you and it's something you want to try out, you should go click the link in my description right now. Code Gringo will get you a juicy discount and 3 months free. And they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee if it's not for you. There's no risk in giving it a go. Code Gringa, go click it now. And thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Now the Sky Dweller is one of my all-time favorite Rolexes. First released in 2012, the Sky Dweller was a big move for Rolex, a brand new model, not relying on heritage or old designs, and it is one of the coolest annual calendars that money can buy. Looking at the prices, the yellow gold variation on Oyster Flex retails for £34,600, but the yellow gold specifically can be found on Chrono24 from between £29,000 and £33,000. This is a massive savings. Now the Ever Rose gold variation on Oyster Flex is a bit higher priced in the secondary market, but they also cost a bit more at retail as well. So they are £36,000 retail, but can be found for as low as £33,900 on the secondary market. Now these aren't cheap prices by any stretch of the imagination. I can't afford these. But if you are looking for something like this, there are deals to be had going secondary. Okay, so the last watch we need to talk about today isn't really under retail prices yet, but I've been keeping an eye on these in the secondary market just out of curiosity, and they really haven't been as wild as I thought they would have been. So the new GMT Master II GRNR, or as I call it, GRNR, the full yellow gold Jubilee, and the two-tone. So there's already so many of these on Chrono24, ADs. You really got to keep an eye on these. They're so obviously being flipped. The cheapest two-tone I found is here in the UK for £16,500, and these retail for £13,850. Now it's not that £2,500 price difference isn't a lot, because it is, but it's not as astronomical as I thought it would be for such a new model. I honestly thought these would be going north of £20,000. Ugh. On a side note, on a side tangent, flippers just make me so sad. I hate it. Like, it's just been too close to this release for it to be an innocent sell-along, you know? And I bet you there's so many people on that waiting list who actually want that watch, who would actually wear it. And there's some bozo out there just selling it on. Brittany, this isn't your battle. You don't have to be as upset about this as you are. I just want people to get the watches that they love. Hey guys, Editing Brittany here. For the eagle-eyed viewers out there, you might have noticed I only did 4 so far. My microphone cut out during one of them and it sounded like this.
But it's not a horrible secondary place.
Do you want to play a game?
So here we are, Editor's Insights, and this one kind of shocked me and kind of didn't, and it's the Explorer. And it's not just the two-tone anymore. The 2023 36mm stainless steel is now trading around retail or even just under. I'll throw some of the numbers up right now. The cheapest one I found was in Hong Kong for under retail, and even the average price isn't what it used to be. Explorers are becoming more available from retail, more and more people are getting the call. But if you don't have a great AD link or you live too far from one, keep an eye out on the secondary market. These are dropping. So my microphone starts working again around here, which is awesome. And I'm just kind of starting on a tangent about buying retail versus buying gray. Enjoy. I fear I've kind of become known as the person who hates the secondary market, and I don't. I just personally won't pay above retail. It's okay if you will. That's just a rule I've set out for myself. I won't pay over retail, but I certainly think there's a time and a place for the secondary market. I'm not anti buying secondary. I don't even care if you spend over retail. It's your money. Do whatever you want. This is just what I do. I think there's a time and a place for the secondary market, and it depends on who you are and what your collecting goals are. For me, it makes sense to buy retail. I have a great relationship with our AD, and I want to collect more Rolex watches. So having a spend history opens up more of the catalog. But say if you just want 1 or 2 models, and they're quite hard to get watches and you don't want to buy anything else, it makes sense to go to the secondary market, or if you live far from an authorized dealer or don't have a great relationship with an AD. Okay, I'm just nattering away now. I'm gonna shut up. Is there any models I've missed? Is there any models you've been eyeing up that have slipped below retail or you see them coming down? Let me know in those comments down below. Let's help people get the watches they love at a good price. And thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring this video. That is so amazing of you. Thank you. And thank you to the gorgeous, fabulous Pope tier patrons. All tier patrons, but special shout out to the Pope tier patrons.
Hello, it's me, the scary saw person. Would you like to play a game? Well, if you're a Pope tier patron, if your name's on the screen, you don't have to play a scary game. But if you're not, you definitely have to play a scary game. Thank you, Pope tier patrons, you're the best. For those of you who aren't Pope tier patrons, here's the game. Go to Gringa Patreon and become a patron.